There is nothing quite as frustrating as being right in the middle of a project and having your belt sander just decide to quit on you. If you have been running a Porter Cable 352 or one of the many V's models for years, you know that eventually the motor is going to start acting a bit sluggish. Most people assume the tool is dying, but honestly, it is usually just the brushes reaching the end of their life. That is where this little 2-pack from XHBAN comes into play. It is one of those parts that sits in the drawer until the exact moment you need it, and when that happens, you are going to be pretty relieved to have it on hand. What stands out here is how straightforward this fix actually is. You are getting the brushes and the springs as a set, which is smart because you really should never replace one without the other. The fitment is spot on for a wide range of those classic Porter cable machines, covering everything from the older Type 4 units all the way up to the newer DWP series. It is a simple, no-nonsense component. It does not have fancy packaging or a brand name that screams for attention, but it does exactly what it is supposed to do. The build quality feels solid enough for the job, and the springs have that right amount of tension to keep the contact consistent against the armature. Now here is the thing to keep in mind. Because these are aftermarket parts, they might feel just a hair different than the original factory components you pulled out. It is not a deal breaker by any means, but it is worth noting that you might want to take a second to make sure they are seated perfectly before you button everything back up. If you rush the installation, you might notice a bit of sparking or uneven wear, so just take your time. It is a small price to pay to keep a heavy-duty tool like the 352 running for another decade. The weight is negligible, obviously, but the impact on the tool's performance is huge. Once you swap these in, you will likely notice that familiar, steady hum returning to the motor, and that loss of power you were dealing with should vanish. It is a cheap, effective way to breathe new life into a machine that has probably seen a lot of sawdust over the years. If there is one minor gripe, it is just that the instructions are pretty much non-existent, so if you have never cracked open a sander before, you might want to have a quick look at a diagram online first. But for anyone who has done basic maintenance, this is a total breeze. It is a simple, reliable fix that keeps a great tool out of the landfill and back on the workbench where it belongs.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.